So we've got this taped up now, and I'm just going to spray some clear coats firstly to seal this back, and then we'll get into putting some colour on there. So we've got some clear on there now, and I want to start pushing the colour towards a cherry red on the back here. So I'm going to mix some cherry red stone up into some clear and just spray a couple of coats until I get the colour depth that I'm after. Alright, so yesterday we dyed the top and then I sprayed a coat of clear just to seal it all in. Now what I'm going to do is use the same stain that I used on the back, and I'll spray a burst, just a thin burst around the sides here, just to tie it all together. I'm just breaking the corners now, just so we can get a bit of lacquer to build up when we spray it. So I set the neck out as I usually do to John at Extreme Labels, and he does my logo for me. So this is actually, it's CNC'd, it's cut into the headstock, the actual logo, and then it's filled with black epoxy and sanded back. So he's done that for me. And while he had the neck, he's also inlaid these little random donuts in the headstock, which match the donuts that we have on the fret markers. So we've got the white pearl, and then we've got the black pearl outer donut. So he's done a beautiful job as usual, and it should look really nice when it's finished. So what I want to do now is just mask this mahogany off. This mahogany is going to need grain filling, so I'm going to mask everything off, just grain fill this section here, and we're not going to touch the maple, that's fine. And then I'm going to spray this section to match the back of the guitar, so we're going to redden, like red wine type colour, the same as the back of the guitar. We're going to just tint this section here, and it should really pop against the white maple then. So we've now got the back of the neck sprayed. So to get to this point, I wet sanded with micro mesh, two different grits, 1800 and 2400. And now we're just using a coarse buffing compound to just buff it up to a nice shine. And I'm just doing it by hand. Sometimes it's easier just to get in there with a rag and just buff it out by hand. And I've just got it sitting on my my table saw. I've got a towel down, and I've got the sun coming through the window, and I can just use a cloth just to clean the compound off. And if I squat down, I can just check it out to make sure that the finish is flawless. So when I originally started building this body, it was a customer order, but I drilled a Strat style output jack onto the front of the guitar, which the customer didn't ask for. They asked for a side mount, so I actually built him a new body, and I continued on with this one, and I built the neck you've seen in the previous video, the laminated neck, to go along with this body. I'm just sanding the edges of this pickup cover, just trying to, I'm not happy with the sharp edges. I usually round them over. They just look a little bit more pleasing to the eye. So this one at the back here is the one that we've just rounded over, and this is what they look like straight out of the packet. So all we've done is we've just taken the sharp edge off that goes all around there. Okay, so I've just put the covers on the pickups that I wound yesterday, and we're ready to put those into the pickguard now. So the frets are levelled, and we've just polished them up and crowned them, and we're just taking the tape off now, and we should be able to get this neck onto the body finally and start setting this guitar up. Okay, we're back with the final instalment that shows the laminated neck. That there was a little bit of interest on this neck on one of the previous videos. It was the veneer, veneering the top of this body. I filmed that, and at the end I showed this neck in a rough state, just being mounted on the body. So this is the completed guitar. We've got the scarf section is a sandwich, a 5-piece sandwich, and it is a bird's eye maple. Then we've got a black veneer, which is maple. We've got a flame maple, and then we've got the other half of the sandwich, which is the black veneer and the bird's eye maple on the back. Now, the fretboard is also bird's eye maple, but the back of the neck itself is mahogany. We've got mahogany, cocobolo, mahogany, and then we have a black veneer which runs the entire length of the neck as well. So it's a beautiful neck. So we've got a flame maple cap which was cut from a slab that I have, and we've sprayed that with an amber coat. And then we have mixed a cherry and red mahogany together, and we've just come up with a nice colour which has been bursted around the outside. And the back of the guitar is a solid 1-piece Queensland maple body. Now that was featured in one of the previous videos. It showed me working it down, cutting it down from a large slab that I have. So that was cut down, and it's very much like mahogany. It's called Queensland maple. I have no reason why. It doesn't resemble maple at all. It sounds like mahogany. It has the grain structure of mahogany, but it's prettier than mahogany. And it's a native Australian timber as well, which is even nicer. So this guitar is for sale as well. So if anybody out there is looking for a beautiful guitar, give me a email. My email address is fletcherhandcraftedguitars@gmail.com. It's got to be sold. It's not often that I build a scratch guitar anymore. Most of my time is spent building orders for customers, so it's not often this pops up where I've got a guitar that's just available for sale. So if anybody wants to grab this, drop me an email and we shall work something out. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching and I'll catch you later.